pick ban phase has already started, so I'm going to bring you guys straight on into that.
5 seconds.
With the push of a button, here we go. So, Lycan this time gets banned out by Death by Snoo. Quite aptly so. Lycan as well as Earthspirit have just seen a lot of play and are both very, very strong heroes to be played by high-impact players. So, both of them getting taken out. Meanwhile, no Earthspirit. They are getting rid of Ancient Apparition, of course, as well as the Invoker. So, we're going to have a Nyx being picked up first by Snoo. And Nyx Assassin's going to be an interesting pickup because right away you're discouraging many intelligence heroes, those high end gain heroes that Nyx can really blow up in the mid game. And, you know, overall, I mean, he's got great ganking potential. He's got great team fight potential. We've noted time and time again that his Impale, now that it's not a point target, a lot of players are shifting towards that ground target, which means you can pull off 2-man, 3-man, 4-man Impales. I've seen 5-mans, and it's been aptly named the Ravage of the Nyx Assassin. Just because, I mean, it's just so good. It's a great stun, good damage, and overall just a really good hero to have it on. Very mobile. So Doom will make it through the ban phase, and it gets picked up by no Earthspirit. And Doom is a decent hero to pick up versus many casters, Nyx Assassin being one of them. Shadow Shaman as well. So no Earthspirit, they're not letting go of their push. They love their push. And with Shadow Shaman, the wards are so good. Serpent Wards do a lot of damage to towers and are overall just really good at pushing and really good at overall dealing a ton of damage in a short amount of time. And team fights, you can drop it down. It'll really pull apart heroes. That physical damage, any sort of armor reduction that Doom picks up, maybe an Assault Cuirass or a Medallion I've seen, but doesn't get seen too often. But that kind of stuff will make those wards really strong. Death by Snoo, though, they opt immediately for the Mirana, so we might be seeing the initiation, maybe a Rubik or a Bane or a Shadow Demon, any sort of long disruption heroes that can set up the Mirana stun. I've even seen Crystal Maiden get used in some cases, but someone to pair up with that. And they could be running a tri-lane with the Mirana, an offensive tri-lane with Nyx, which I've seen, but I feel like tri-lanes don't suit the Mirana well if they aren't able to get kills. So I wouldn't put it past them to try to run a dual lane, maybe put a jungler or have 2-1-2 as their lane setup. Or even throw a Mirana dual mid. I've seen that as well. So we'll have to wait and see that. Rubik, though, as I mentioned him, possible initiation for Mirana does get banned out. I imagine they're going to ban out another disruption hero, as I like to call them. But the ball's in their court to try to mitigate this damage, as Mirana is an incredibly strong snowballing hero. If she can get off the ground early and get her magical damage far ahead, then she can start working on her auto attack damage. And as her magic damage starts to fall off, then her auto attacks will start to pick up and hurt a lot. But they end up going ahead and banning out the Templar Assassin. So they know Earthspirit. They're seeing that Snoo could be picking up a mid regardless, and they'd rather not have it be TA. And it could mean that they're going to be running the Doom mid, as Doom doesn't exactly work against the TA. TA does harass Doom. Just because Doom doesn't have a lot of armor to start out, Meld rips through Doom. And, I mean, the slow, Doom is an incredibly fast hero. Scorched Earth helps a little bit, but not as much as they like. No Earthspirit, though. They're going to go ahead and pick up the big, the bad, the Treant Protector. That is a good pickup. I mean, this hero hasn't been seeing a lot of play, but we can't forget that he's a really strong hero. And overall is just amazing at defending towers, keeping heroes alive. And when you're against a Mirana, who if you can land stuns and get all that magic damage off, you put a living armor on, and all of a sudden the Mirana deals no damage due to her initially very weak base attack damage. And, you know, a lot of Miranas, they go ahead and fix that up with picking up phase boots in the early game. I've seen some pick up power treads, which is my preferred build.
10 seconds to go.
Regardless, I mean, that could help a little bit. But overall, the Treant Protector, the living armor is going to help a lot versus that. Venomancer, though, gets picked up, and the damage over time is going to help try to mitigate that a little bit, as well as give them a lot of options for pushing. And the slow will help set up the arrow And if they will also help a lot if Nyx can land those 3 or 4 man impales. You drop a Gale on all of them, and all of a sudden the team fight is just done. The enemy can't do anything. There's huge damage over time coming out from this hero. When you pop out the ultimate, I believe it will go somewhere upwards of 100 plus damage per second, which, if you think about that for a second, that is crazy. No Earthspirit, though. I mean, this lineup is weird. They've got a lot of tanky heroes out. I mean, Beastmaster got so much health and can just sit through a bunch of punishment. His summons will give him great utilization or utility in team fights, and I mean overall just a great hero to absorb damage. And Treant Protector, a great hero to absorb damage. He can pop out the Leech Seed, which is almost like a mech, except without the armor. The living armor, kind of like a Tango, except with damage block. And I mean, Beastmaster and Treant, they should never die. But then you've got Doom, who, if he picks up just a little bit of armor, becomes an insanely hard hero to kill. And I mean, you put a Vanguard on him, which helps versus Mirana's auto attacks, which helps versus Nyx's auto attacks. I mean, even Venomancer's auto attacks, they don't really have inherently high auto attack damage. Then the Vanguard helps a lot versus them. So all this damage block potential or just natural tankiness coming out from these heroes is going to hurt a lot. But, oh man, there are 3 strength heroes on no Earthspirit. Who do you call? Ghostbusters? Nope, you call Timbersaw. And it's kind of natural that you pick up the guy who fears the trees against the literal tree himself. They pick him up to cut him down. They pick him up to chop him up. And Timbersaw is just going to make these strength heroes suffer, as that's his strong suit. Reduces the base stat of the hero with that Whirling Death, which means it not only reduces their health, but it also reduces their damage. So, in any sort of engagement, Timbersaw will just wreck strength heroes, as subsequent Whirling Deaths will deal more and more and more damage as it goes on. And all of a sudden, the hero that you thought had 2,000 HP and a ton of armor, well, he's now dead in 3 seconds, and you have no idea what happened. So, real quick going over, Death Prophet gets banned out. Clock and Pugna, I don't think I mentioned those, but they are taken out of the pool. Death by Snoo Snoo deciding on their last ban. Death by Snoo Snoo, they do have a decent mid-hero. Timbersaw can also go in the off lane, so they might decide to run the Outer World Devourer again. It's certainly not a terrible idea, as with 3 strength heroes not great on intelligence, the Sanity's Eclipse will clean them up pretty well, but also it's a great disruption ability for Mirana to boost the error off of, and just a pretty good hero overall. I mean, they could also go for an... Nah, I don't think they should go for an Omni Knight. I was going to mention it for some magic immunity, but then I realized, wait a second, no Earthspirit's got no magic. So that's not going to help a lot there. Who I was going to mention is they could go for the Abaddon to try to remove a lot of what no Earthspirit has to offer, but I think an Outer World Devourer would be pretty decent in this lineup. They go ahead and ban out the Storm Spirit, so probably not picking up the OD, as banning the Storm. Storm isn't inherently good versus
10
OD.
seconds to go.
I mean, I guess it's a decently even matchup. The OD will certainly win before level 6, but Death by Snoo Snoo probably going to be picking up that mid. Meanwhile, no Earthspirit. I can't analyze their draft at all. They're going to go ahead with the no Earthspirit. So I was going to say a farming safe lane hero, but they instead decide to go for the farming mid hero, and they might just be throwing Doom as the carry here, the farming carry in the safe lane. Beastmaster will probably be soloing and stacking up camps, as he is on the Dire. And yeah, I mean, Shadow Fiend picking up the mid, getting a lot of farm, and there are a lot of heroes that can do well versus Shadow Fiend, but to be perfectly honest, Shadow Fiend is one of those that it doesn't really matter the mid 1v1 matchup. What matters is heroes coming in to gank him, which can shut down the Shadow Fiend really hard. I mean, Shadow Fiend inherently can play very defensive. He can use his razors to farm up, and he can get souls that way. But if he gets ganked, he's a very squishy hero, no escape mechanism, and will just melt. So no Earthspirit, they're relying on the team of incredible reaction and counter initiation to keep their Shadow Fiend alive to a point
10
where he can
seconds to go.
shred the enemy to pieces. Death by Snoo. They're taking their
5
time, though. They're
seconds.
running out of reserve time, though. They're cutting this one close. They pick up the sniper. And that could be a sniper contesting the Shadow Fiend mid. So, as heroes start to fire, players start to file into their heroes. I mean, Death by Snoo. I mean, the first 4 heroes are pretty much what you'd expect in a lineup. But Sniper, that's an interesting one. And I believe we saw them pick up Sniper as a niche pick versus E-Hug, and it didn't really work
Places,
too
everyone.
well. But, I mean, they're against a Shadow Fiend with a Sniper, so Sniper should have no trouble farming that one up. The issue is, can he win the lane? So, before I talk too much, we're going to go ahead and introduce the teams. I like doing this in showcase mode, so I think I will do it again. Knave is going to be playing, this time, the Treant Protector. Elsa will be picking up the Doom. Relic on the Shadow Fiend, our favorite mid. He played Lone Druid last game to good effect, and one of my favorite players in the NEL. What the heck? Am I on the tower? I am. Meanwhile, Half-Ride Eggroll will be picking up the Beastmaster, and last but not least, for Ban Earth, it's going to be Fan of Sion playing the Shadow Shaman. Meanwhile, on the other side of the river, it's going to be Death by Snoo. Reckoner will be playing the Timber Saw. Venomancer can be picked up by Raffle Stomper. Orgy Spasm on the Nyx Assassin. Mirana played by Emperor L. And our So Groovy will be picking up the Sniper. So it looks like it's going to be a mid Mirana Sniper farming safe lane. Whoa, a little bit of a bug there coming out of showcase mode, but
And they're
actually,
off.
Timbersaw, he's waiting by the rune right now. It is going to be a regen rune. It's spotted out by Fan of Sion, who immediately denies it. I mean, it isn't an incredible rune to have anyway, but a Timber Chain to use them on or a Whirling Death to use them on and then pick it up, I mean, it could be good, but that deny makes sure that nothing's going to happen with that Fan of Sion making his way towards the top lane. And yeah, it's just going to be Emperor L soloing up against Relic. And if Emperor L can land... well... Relic, easy souls, easy life. He goes ahead and denies his own Observer Ward for some souls. But Relic, if he gets hit by an arrow, he will end up dying in this lane. I mean, there is no doubt about it. Shadow Fiend gets just takes so much damage. Actually, Reckoner could be shackled up here. Is only 2 seconds on the shackle, so he's not taking as much damage. But there is a stomp from Doom. Timber Chain's up. He will pick it out, but it is not enough. He will end up giving up first blood, and that's going to go the way of Elsa. Ban Earth, they have a 1-game advantage in this series, and they start off strong. So that's going to go to the bank of the Doombringer. Relic taking some good auto attack damage. In fact, Mirana, I mean, look at it. She's got 56 base damage, all right? But still dealing so much versus Relic, who's so squishy. But Relic, he's going to go ahead and turn around and deal a equal amount of damage to Emperor L. So, and the only difference is that Emperor L can get raised up. In fact, he is sitting low right now. 2 raises will clean him up, and he ends up backing off, only in range of the tier 3 raise, so not able to chain up 2 on top of that. So Groovy, meanwhile in this lane, not incredible damage, so last hitting is difficult, but a 1 range creep is let through to make things a little bit easier for him. Doesn't have to tank up and can wait, but it's going to die pretty fast, and he's going to go ahead and have to last it under tower. It is going to do so to pretty decent effect, though. Emperor L, he's taking good damage. 1 raise, 2 raises, he leaps away, and that is going to be, well, the difference between life and death there is a quick leap. Perfect timing from him, but he's going to have to back off at very low HP, which is not something that you want to have to do versus a Shadow Fiend, who is very handily winning this lane. 11-4 right now at 2 minutes. Only contested by the 13-4 of the Doombringer. 13-5 now. 13-6. Wow. Doombringer with the denies, man. All up in here. So Groovy, the only one staying relatively close on the Sniper, who's at 10 last hits. So not terrible, but he is falling behind this Doombringer, who is soloing up and getting free farm in his respective lane. So, I mean, this lane is going to be a little difficult. You can't exactly kill a Beastmaster, but Sniper, he needs to get XP and he needs to get ahead. So they need to make some decisions really quick. Do they want to just rotate Raffle Stomper out of this, leave Sniper to try to solo up versus Beastmaster, and try to make things happen on the offlane with Reckoner, who also needs XP? rotating gank and help out Emperor L, or just kind of stay complacent in this and hope that it goes the way you want it to. And they're going to go ahead and just stay in here for the time being. They know if they try to rotate now, Shadow Fiend will see it coming. They want to try to wait for a time. Actually, Emperor L committing the arrow to try to get that last hit. But going back, they want to try to wait for a time that they're not exactly expecting it. And this could be around the time, 3.5 minutes. We usually see it go around at 4 minutes. So they're going to go ahead and smoke up right now, making their way towards the mid lane. Raffle Stomper does have 1 point up in Gale, which is a very nice slow. Orgy Spasm taking a different route. And he's going to go more of a direct path. If the Gale lands, the Impale will land. The only issue is Relic has 3 levels up in Raise. If this doesn't work the way they want it to, then Relic will be able to pick up a return kill. And they're going to go ahead on this. 1v3 and Orgy Spasm. He throws out the Impale. It does connect as well as the Venomous Gale. There is living armor, but it's not going to help as the Mirana with the Starstorm will clean up Relic there. And Raffle Stomper getting away with under 40 HP. Tangles himself up. Meanwhile, the Doombringer, with 27 last hits, is going to find a Hand of Midas. 4.5 minutes. Absolutely amazing. He's got 3 points up in Devour already, so that's going to help give that extra infusion of gold. This Doombringer in the next 10 minutes is going to be absolutely huge if they don't do anything about it. The upside is he does have a Hand of Midas, 910 HP, and 1 armor. If they decide to make a gank on him, he could very well die. But unfortunately, he's being protected by Knave as well as sort of Fan of Sion. So going on him will be relatively difficult. But so far, 1-1 right now. Death by Snoo reacting to the kill in the off lane by getting a very high priority to kill into the mid lane. And Beastmaster, he doesn't have a soul ring yet, so he can't exactly farm up these ancients, but he will be stacking them. He's got 3 ancient camps sitting, waiting for him. Should be able to farm that up. Emperor L is going in on Relic. The second Starstorm doesn't hit. He does have leap, but he's going to get it raised. 1 auto attack to fly, and Relic will clean it up a little bit of overzealousness coming out from Emperor L. That Hastrude giving him the hubris to just go straight on in. Feels like he can pick up that kill, and unfortunately he pays for it. Well warded coming out from Raffle Stomper. He's going to go ahead and try to get that Sentry Ward, but there is not enough time as actually the Boar will go ahead and clean up the respective Sentry Ward. So Raffle Stomper can't exactly finish off this, and he knows it's there. He knows. Does it see his ward? I mean, in some views it might not. No, I can't tell exactly. If they go to the high ground, we'll see if it gets dewarded. But Doom is going to pick up Phase Boots on top of his Midas, so he is just farming up very fast. Fan of Sion, meanwhile, is going to go ahead and babysit his Shadow Fiend in the mid lane. Does not want another gank attempt to happen. Soul Ring now finally done on half right egg, going to make his way out to him, and he's going to go ahead and try to farm up these ancient camps in the meantime. Elsa is just flexing his muscles right now. Reckoner can't do much against him. Elsa is level 7, but doesn't have enough mana for Doom. Reckoner could be trying to throw the harass off. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, I'm missing it out, but Orgy Spasm going to get raised up. Can they finish up in? They do. The full range raise. Raffle Stomper taking a lot of damage. He will get raised. Double kill going the way of Relic. An absolute domination coming out as they pick up Fan of Sion. But unfortunately, Emperor L dies, Orgy Spasm dies, and Raffle Stomper dies. So, half right aggro with that Soul Ring. Still isn't out to him, but it's almost out. He goes ahead and stacks up another time. Now the Soul Ring out. Just look. He's got 3 points up in Whirling Axes. Throws him out. That's some pretty good damage, if I do say so myself. It is composite damage, so it does hit the Ancients, as we just saw. You don't need me to tell you that. But Knave is coming in here, possibly to soak up some XP. No, he just goes ahead and places a ward and gets himself out of there. Meanwhile, oh man, I'm just watching this. Look at these Ancients just absolutely collapse. All he has to do, I don't think he can stack this again, actually. He might be able to. He's going to go ahead. I think he's going to wait. If he does wait, no, he doesn't. So he's not planning on stacking this. He's just going to go ahead and clean him up. Relic making his way to the jungle. There are some decent stacks coming out for him. Going to go ahead and clean those up. The Midas out. Can he get the stack off? It looks like he can. Yes, he will. So Another good wild can camp up for him. He's going to go ahead and find some XP for that. 65 last hits right now for him at 8 minutes. He's caught up incredibly well. Meanwhile, Elsa, 1,200 net worth. I mean, we could just switch on over and take a look at the net worth right now. These two heroes are huge. 5,000 on each of them. Fan of Sion, he's making his way in. Reckoner could be in a lot of trouble. There is no mana for Doom, but Elsa taking a lot. Is the shackles there? Can he get it off? One more Whirling Death. It is not enough. There is a Moonlight Shadow. The Whirling Death will fly, but the Living Armor blocking it out. No trees to make it pure, and that will be the end of that. Elsa picking up yet another kill to his name, 2-0. And his net worth is huge, absolutely huge, almost doubling that of the highest on Death by Snoo Snoo, which is, we can take a look again, the Sniper, who, I mean, is finding decent farm. They haven't ganked him up just yet, but, I mean, he is no Midas carrier. He is getting out-farmed hard just because he has no real flash farming mechanism until he starts getting some attack speed items up.
Radiance
We can take a look.
Structures.
Beastmaster has completely
best
accelerated
do
in his
something
farm,
about that bottom
skyrocketing up past Mirana now just because of those ancient stacks. A push on to the top tier 1 tower. Reckoner can't do a lot about this with the wards, but he will go out, throw a Whirling Death onto Elsa, who is now going to get attacked up by So Groovy. Fan of Sion will go in, but there is Knave ready to get the overgrowth off. No, not level 6 yet, but still, he goes ahead and denies the Serpent Ward. He was ready for any sort of initiation, though, with the Living Armor to keep people alive. Emperor L going to throw out the arrow, and Relic will dodge it. The raises fly, but he ends up blocking out the second one. Emperor L probably wouldn't have died anyway, was not in range of the close raise, so he needed all three to kill up Emperor L, as well as possibly 1 or 2 auto attacks, and knew he wasn't going to get it. Ends up saving the mana. He's just going to go straight on into this tier 1 tower. And there isn't a lot to stop him. The Venomous Gale is off the mark, so no arrow to follow up from that. He might still try for it, though. There is a Haste Rune. Arrow, the leap, arrow to fly. Starstorm, nope, not going to follow up. In fact, Relic, he's got a Haste Rune. If he wants to continue to chase, no, he can't because Reckoner is there. He's taunting the Haste Rune, or he's taunting the raise. He actually goes ahead and pops the Haste Rune with the Living Armor, is looking the Sniper dead in the eyes and saying, I am not afraid of you. Arrow, though, to fly. Starstorm will go down. There is going to be a snipe. Can it kill him? It will. Sniper picking up the Shadow Fiend. His second death, despite having 83 last hits, which is pretty much perfect right now at 10.5 minutes. He will die again. 83 to 21 on that Shadow Fiend. We're going to go ahead and switch on over to net worth. Sniper is he's staying higher than half of the net worth, but it's still not incredible. Doom is just soaring so far ahead. The arrow to fly, but misses Fan of Sion. Emperor L doesn't have a leap, but doesn't matter. Fan of Sion will get cleaned up. Trying to go ahead and clean up the wards, but they see the TP in from Elsa. They decide not to go for it. So 3 down for Ban Earth, Death by Snoo Snoo. Again, they're showing why they have control in the early game, but they need to take it late this time, and we'll have to wait and see if they can do it. The Spike Carapace, Relic eating that one in the face. And he's just going to go ahead. He does have Midas, so despite getting killed 2 times, I mean, the sheer amount of last hits he has, it just goes to show you that you can get a Midas decently timed, even if you get last hits. And decently timed is before 12 minutes, in my book. For any hero. For some heroes, it's a little less. For some, it's a little more. 2 boars, you know. That recent change allowing him to have more than one of each animal really showing itself there. Going to go ahead and stack up the camps. His farm is looking really good with those ancient camps alone. So good for him. Getting that farm, he is looking for a Necro book, is only about 1,200 away from that. Meanwhile, Assassinate coming out. Doesn't exactly kill anyone, probably for just some basic damage. Fan of Sion, the pings come out. They want to go on him. The Chakram, though, isn't quite on the mark. Emperor L throwing some auto attacks. Gets Force Staff immediately away, but the Hex is there. Emperor L looking for the arrow. They're going to decide to go straight on the tower. Anyway, the arrow does connect. The snipe goes. The Chakra magic is there. The Timber Chain, but the Mirana will be the one to pick it up. Elsa, meanwhile, going in, throwing the Doom onto Reckoner. There's a shout onto Emperor L. Both will get cleaned up. And Venomous Gale does come out, but connects and doesn't exactly do anything. 2 down for 1. Ban Earth losing Fan of Sion, but Death by Snoo Snoo. They lose Reckoner and they lose Emperor L. So, tier 1 tower. Sniper!
Disown their mid tower.
Sniper denying the tower there. What a player. Sitting 1-0 on this sniper. 2 assists to his name. But it doesn't really matter because gold graph. Oh man, I kind of wish I hadn't looked at that. 10,000 gold advantage for Ban Earth. 12,000. This isn't 20 minutes. This isn't 25 minutes. This isn't even 17 minutes. It's 13 and a half minutes into the game. And the XP graph and gold graph are already surpassing 10,000. And they're going in for Roche. The arrow goes, picks up the board, but doesn't quite help. The wards will pick up Roche. Shadow Fiend finds the Aegis of Immortality. So the guy has been dying a lot. Well, now he's got 2 lives instead of 1. Just a little short of a cat with 9 lives, but I guess Shadow Fiend isn't exactly a cat. Reckoner going to be backing away from this mid lane. These raises really taking their toll. And now look at this. Because of the Ancient Snacks, half-fried egg roll is now 3rd on the net worth board. He has his level 1 Necro book. So now they're going to be really looking to force towers, looking to force this game, and they have never looked stronger. They're going up against a Mirana and a Sniper who are great auto attackers, but not until the 30-minute mark. So they're going to be a little hard-pressed to carry this game, especially versus a Doom and a Shadow Fiend who've gotten so much out of this early game. There is a shout on half-right egg roll, but Emperor L, he knows what's going on. It doesn't quite see heroes yet. Throws out the arrow to try to see if it's safe, but it's a little misleading as they're waiting by. In fact, he's going to get spotted. This is going to be an immediate turnaround. Fantasy Yan is looking for it as well as Relic and half-fried egg roll. They're going straight on back in. Mirana hasn't TP'd out quite yet. She bottles up. Can she get the TP? They don't exactly see her. No, the Shackles go in. Moonlight Shadow, but she is not getting away from this. Shackles do end up landing 2 birds instead of 1. A bird in the hand is worth 2 for the Beastmaster, I guess. And they find the Mirana. Meanwhile, Elsa, they're looking for him, the Impale as well as the Chakram. Not quite on the mark. They do end up catching him on the forward and backward, though. Living armor keeping him alive, but the headshots slowing him down. There's another Chakram as well as a Whirling Death. Timber Chain will try to deal as much damage as they can. The Impale will find the kill. Half-right egg roll, meanwhile, will get the shout-out. Pops the Necro Book, but Orgy Spasm, he is pretty tanky right now. Nyx Assassin, he's going to try to walk away from this. There is not enough damage. They end up picking up the Necro Creep. That's a pretty good bounty. Meanwhile, Reckoner is getting chased down by Knave. The boar is there. He ends up timber chaining out of the overgrowth. Knave will get taken down, but Reckoner will fall as well. So Beastmaster find him as Relic coming in, popping out. The Requiem of Souls. He finds Groovy. It does hit on Raffle Stopper just barely. Can he find 3? He may. Dodges out the arrow. Great awareness, and Raffle Stomper will go down. Shadow Fiend. Relic finding a triple kill. Can this be an Ultra? He's looking for Emperor. Blink on the Shadow Fiend. He's chasing. 4 staff forward. Emperor L in a lot of trouble. The raise to make the Ultra kill. And Relic will pick that one up, not dropping his Aegis. 8-14 right now. 16 minutes. Take a quick look again. Those graphs are looking scary. And right now, death by Snoo Snoo. You know, I almost said they could have won this. They very well could have won this. But at the moment, things are looking bleak. They're already down a game in the series. The Gale does connect. No, it does not. But Orgy Spasm is on the case. Ends up popping the Impale. Aegis is still up, but they'll be happy to break it. There is no follow-up. Are they going to grab a second kill for this? They may as well. The blink out immediately. The Chakram isn't on time. The Whirling Death, rather. But the Chakram is there. Can they find it? They pop out the ward. They don't see him quite yet. There's a Timber Chain. The raise. First one off the mark. But Relic, he's tanky. He is just turning around the raise to pick up the kill. Mega kill for Relic. He says, I don't care. He goes ahead and cleans up the Timber Saw. And meanwhile, they're just turning around. They're not scared at all. Well, maybe they're a little scared. The blink out from Relic Go back, reset, go back on in. He's got 10 charges up on his wand. They're going to go ahead and try to clean up the Doombringer, but there is already a Shiva's Guard out. Knave has Overgrowth. Is going to throw out. Will he pop it? Doesn't look like he wants it. As Orgy Spasm immediately cleaned up. Raffle Stomper trying to run away, but just can't. He's trying to juke around the trees. Can he get it? Nope. They end up popping out the Overgrowth just to keep him from juking. You try to juke around the trees with the Treon Protector, you just can't. Relic, this ain't your base, man. He goes ahead, dives straight back. A buyback from Sniper. He pops the Requiem and doesn't pick up any kills, but he buys back as well. Groovy will pick up that kill. 883 gold will go to him, but it was buyback, so I don't think he actually got it. And meanwhile, there's 5 up. Ban Earthspirit are fearing nothing. The Chakra Magic, Fantasy Yan getting blown to bits, but still alive. The arrow doesn't connect, and this tier 3 could just die here. I mean, the Chakram going out, Fantasy Yan, he ends up 4-staffing away, not before getting the Hex out on the Reckoner. And that will be the end of that.
Right now.
And Creeps just meeting up right now. Actually, the tier 2 on bottom. The Assassinate going out, still doing pretty good damage, but immediately getting earned up. Or, sorry, bottled up. Now the Impale, it does end up missing Nyx Assassin. He is regretting that one. The Overgrowth catching them all in range of the wards, and Relic just going to town. Fantasy Yan, though, the one to pick up the double kill. Knave going back onto Emperor L. Should be able to clean that one up. Meanwhile, Reckoner doomed. He's dead. Emperor L does end up getting away, but Reckoner won't be so lucky. A double kill going the way of Relic, and GG getting called. Death by Snoo just weren't prepared for the sheer damage to come out in this mid-game. And we can take a look. Just all the farm in the world going the way of the Doom. So much space created for Relic to find farm, getting a lot of last hits, and overall just cleaning up this game. Guys, this has been the best of 3 series. Ban Earth take it 2-0 against Death by Snoo to stay out, and well, I think they're still second in the league right now. They're 10-1, only beaten out by E-Hug, who I think are 11-0 right now. As I'm pretty sure they just beat Sna +4 over on Play CEVO-1. If they haven't, then that game is probably still going on. If you're still watching this, I recommend you go on over there to watch that game, as it was probably a very good one, and probably still is a very good one if it's still going on. So, guys, you've been watching Chicago Ted bring you this game. If you want to hear more from me, follow me on Twitter @TedCast. Actually, I will be releasing more information from Twitter about our tournament going to be broadcasted by the CEVO Studios, as I like to call it, later on in this week by our good friend Gorgon, the Wonder Cow. More information, again, coming out on Twitter, so follow us there. If you like the channel, go ahead and follow the channel. We do have a shiny new subscribe button if you want to go ahead and do that. Thanks all for watching tonight's broadcast. Ban Earth taking the series. Dust is settling. Game has ended. We are signing off for the night. We will